It's your boy, Just Dom, catching the day's latest news. What's going on around the roads? Find out here first at the TCP Newsbreak.
Good morning and welcome to another rendition of the TCP Newsbreak. It's your girl, Lady L. Today, I have the pleasure of talking with Miss Tanae Darby, our newest city committee chairwoman. And so we are going to have a conversation about breaking barriers in 2020. So guys, stay tuned. All right, Miss Tanae, welcome to the Newsbreak. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. So this is not your first Newsbreak, but we are definitely going to be talking about more specifically your involvement with the city, and just how you are just on fire for the community. So can you tell us about your new role with city committee?
Well, first, let me give some background on the fact that, it wasn't something that was really on my radar to run for. But then some people from the Southeast that are on the committee brought it to my attention. And I kind of felt like this was our moment, this was our time as far as people of color. So this was our opportunity. So, some of them felt like, I would be a good choice for that. So which is why I kind of pursued it. As far as my role, I actually know, if we can talk about like in football terms, like I know the basics, but I don't know the details of the game. You know what I'm saying? So, I know that I'm going to be conducting the meetings. I will be, making sure at the time of election, there are people that are at the polling locations as poll watchers to greet the people. I know that, I'll be in charge of the city, and as far as the candidates that will be running in the city coming in 2021, because there's the mayor's race and there's city council race, and there's a magistrate also. So that's kind of the gist of it. But like I said, the intricate parts of it is something that I will be learning very shortly, because I'm going to have a meeting and learn those things. So
awesome. Well, can you tell us about what is city committee? What do you guys do for the city? Tell us about city committee. What does it mean? What do you guys do? Yeah.
So each person, you're supposed to represent the precinct that you live in. So the precincts are broke down basically by where you vote at. So I live in 7-5 and I vote at Washington Elementary School. So what we're supposed to do is engage the community, especially around election time, to, get people out to vote, get people registered. Pre-COVID, we knocked on doors, we spoke to people, making sure they knew about the candidates, were there any questions they needed answered or anything like that. So that's kind of the main purpose of the committee, is that engagement as far as candidates are concerned and elections are concerned. I, as a committee member, took my engagement a little further, because I didn't want to just engage people around election time all the time. So again, when the city sent those shut-off notices for people for the water meters, I went and knocked on my precinct doors and let them know that, if you don't get this taken care of, they're going to shut off your water meter. I've done walkthroughs with my precinct, with like Sergeant Morant, Jamie Arroyo, before he actually became a city council member, and some other people. so that people could just ask us questions. We didn't knock on any doors since we had an officer with us, but anyone that was outside, we engaged them. And I did that before the water meter thing. So when I came and knocked on people's doors for the water meter thing, they remembered me from doing the walkthrough, the precinct. And so they were like, oh, I remember you, come on in, so that's a nice part. And then when there was a tragedy that happened within my precinct, I was there, at the visual to, let them know that I'm a part of the city committee, the Democratic City Committee, and we send our condolences. So those are the type of things that I do as a committee member. Everybody goes at it differently. I try to be very engaging.
So how do you think that you can have your concerns with the city or anything like that? How do you feel like you get a say in that by being on city committee?
You have, you're privy to information that's kind of like firsthand, because during our meetings, one of the things that is performed there is the mayor gives her report. And so when she gives her report, it's usually information that hasn't been made public yet. So in that, I feel like, we're able to, talk to her, get questions answered, give her our opinions and things like that. So, and then with us being in the committee as well, we know who these people are in these positions because of them when they run for them. And they want to be endorsed by the Democratic Committee. So that gives us a little, advantage on knowing who they are a little bit more personally than just a regular resident would.
That is awesome. That is awesome. So you are a Lancastrian through and through. Is that correct? You grew up here. This is like your hometown. So how does it feel to be the city committee chairwoman, the first, Afro-Latinx woman chairperson here in Lancaster City?
It feels, it almost feels, I want to describe it the same way I kind of described it when I was on Hip Hop and Politics. I really just feel like, there's like the weight of, the Black and Brown community on my shoulders right now. The expectation of like I said, how Jackie Robinson must have felt that first time he went out on the field, or Roberto Clemente, that's kind of how I feel, and of course, like the expectation, the pressure, the eyes, that are all going to be on me, but I think that I will do well, but for me to do well, the committee has to be behind me. You know what I mean? This is a joint effort. I'm a very inclusive person. So, just like I told the other people that wanted me to run for this, if I'm going to take this seat, I know I'll be the face, I'll be the name, but you have to sit in the seat with me as well. Like I can't, sit in this seat alone. So, I'm proud. And like I said, I wanted to do it because I knew that it was our time and it was our chance. And, I want to be able to, in 2 years, because I'm finishing out the current chair's term, in 2 years, be able to pass this baton off, because we, as a community, we've done such a great job that I can pass it off then and continue that journey. That is my goal.
Oh yeah, definitely. I love it. I love it. So why do you think it is that, where you're out here breaking barriers like this, these glass ceilings that are still around? I think so many times we think we're so progressive. And then to still hear, there's the first this and the first that, and it's like, oh man, it's 2020. Like how far have we really come,
Right, exactly. Yeah, I was surprised to learn that as well. But like I said, everything, has its time and its place. And with Miss Harris getting elected to VP, you know what I mean? I think it was just kind of befitting, you know what I mean, that this happened at the same time, for new, fresh, things to come in and happen and see if we can truly progress this Democratic Party forward.
Awesome. So do you guys get a say in the candidates that are chosen? And if you do, what candidates do you guys help to influence to run for office?
Now it's funny because this is just something I kind of just learned this weekend. So they do an endorsement process, which I recently just posted on my Facebook about the process. So I really, again, because like I said, I don't know the intricate details of the position quite yet. Yes, there is an endorsement process that, people actually interview the candidates and actually vote on whether or not they are going to endorse that candidate or not. But there's a committee that is made up to do that. So, it's a group of people within the committee who make those decisions. And then there obviously then when it comes to, the county and the city races and everything, there's like a big endorsement thing that I was a part of this past year, which was a very interesting process as well, as far as, who you want to endorse and who you don't want to endorse. So.
All right, awesome. So what would you say to maybe even some of our young protesters who would like to move forward in the political process and maybe thought to get in on like city committee or just some of our neighbors? What would you say about why it's important to get involved with something like city committee?
I think it's important, especially if you have an issue with, what's going on in our city and, our officials and things like that. I'm really one of those people, and I think that, I've proven as such that, you need to step up and be the change that you want to see. So people need to get involved. They need to come have a seat at the table so that they can be heard. Your voices do matter. But when you come, make sure you don't just come with issues, make sure you come with resolutions as well. It's just so easy to complain, but, we're here to resolve problems. We're here to do an action, and in order to progress, we have to have these positive, progressive things that are going to occur, not just problematic things all the time. If your precinct is already represented by two people, because there's usually two people that represent a precinct. If your precinct's already represented, we have where you can adopt another precinct that may have a vacancy. The only difference is if it comes down to, say, like, because I live in the Southeast, say the person that adopts a Southeast precinct lives in SOE. When it comes to something that's specifically Southeast, they wouldn't necessarily be able to vote on that because they don't live here technically, you know what I mean? But in the other realm of, going out and canvassing and interacting with the residents from that area, that's still a plausible situation as far as adopting a precinct. So don't let that discourage you. contact us, reach out to the people who you know might be on the committee and ask them, to bring you into a meeting, and just see how it's conducted and see if it's something that, they want to be a part of. I joined the committee because I knew about the voting process because of being a minority inspector for so many years of the elections, but I didn't understand the candidacy side of it. You know what I mean? How does someone become a candidate? How are they chosen? And that's why I joined the committee, because I wanted to learn that part of it. And so, if you're inquisitive about, government, our local government, the candidacy, elections, or anything, come join the committee and come learn the correct information, not just, the street information. Come learn the correct information.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Ms. Tanae. How can people get in contact with you? So if they want to reach out and just follow up, is there any way on social media or an email where they could reach you?
Well, obviously people can reach me on my social media. Normally, if you send me a request, I always look and see who we're friends with first. But normally, if you're from Lancaster, if I see that you're from Lancaster, I usually accept those requests because that means then you're a constituent. So I want to make sure that, I engage the constituents here in Lancaster. That's real important. And because especially the information that I always put on my Facebook page, I want to get to as many people as possible. As far as an email, it's literally my first and last name at gmail.com. So I think that will be made public soon anyway. So I'm just going to put it out there anyway. Because once they put my information into the LCDC's website, I think my email address goes up there as well. So, I mean, you can reach out to me. Like I said, I'm a very inclusive person. Like, I want to get everybody involved. I want anybody on that committee that has a talent that, they want to utilize to, like I said, progress the party forward. I'm all for it. I'm all ears. What do you need? How can we make this happen? That's my attitude. The thing I think people are going to be most surprised about, though, is I'm a very no nonsense person, which doesn't come across in my everyday personality. So that's one of the things, like, I'm kind of concerned about, is that they're probably going to think I'm power tripping at first, but I'm really not. Like, I'm really very no nonsense. Like, I tell people, just to give an example, like when my son was in elementary school, he told me he wanted to run away. So I packed his book bag, put it on the porch, sat him on the porch, shut and locked the door. You know what I mean? Like, that's just how I approach stuff. With my family, I'm kind of that tough love parent. So, I'm very, like, cut and dry. I'm, like I said, pretty much no nonsense. So, hopefully, but at the same time, I'm fair. And in doing that, I want to make sure that, I know right now in the city, the people of color, are the most, disenfranchised. And, I want to make sure that, we are fair to everyone at the same time, especially within the committee, because there are both sides to the committee. And that's going to be, the balance that's going to be probably the most challenging thing to do, to make sure everybody's heard and everyone's heard fairly, and, we always want to do a good job. And we always know that it's our ceiling is 10 times higher, than the other party's ceiling. So, so I know all eyes are on me right now.
Yep. All right, guys. Well, there you have it from your new Lancaster City Committee Chairwoman, Ms. Tanae Darby. Don't be afraid to reach out to her on Facebook, guys. And her email is her first and last name at gmail.com. So guys, stay tuned for the rest of the TCP in the morning. Sorry I couldn't make it to the show today, but I will see you guys on Wednesday. Stay tuned.